And we welcome you back inside Grace College, where this evening we continue with the third of the fourth day as far as this tournament is concerned. The National Christian College Athletic Association basketball tournament, both men's and women's. We already had the fifth place game on the men's side, won by Grace College over Columbia International University. It was an emotional few minutes afterwards with Jim Kessler, the 42-year veteran, as a head coach, a 1970 alum of the program as well, getting a lot of accolades, a lot of attention. There was a game ball presented. There was also a moment with his family, his wife, his kids, as well as his children, as well as his grandkids. So much going on, as well as former players also showing their respect to Jim Kessler, who's not leaving but will be retiring after 42 seasons of head coaching. And here on Kessler Court on the campus of Grace College, we continue with the finale of this day 3, and that's the fifth place game on the women's side that features a couple of first-year head coaches in Sarah Nelson of the Judson University Lady Eagles, as they will meet the Yellowstone Christian College Centurions. Brandon Rogers in his first year at the helm, 13-7 overall in his first season. Not only is Brandon Rogers the head coach of this team, but he's also the new athletic director. This is his first year with both duties. As far as Sarah Nelson goes, interesting enough, there were a couple of players that she coached that were only seniors at the time. One of them is Megan Mahar, a 5'9" senior forward. And talking with Sarah Nelson before tip-off, she had to talk to some of her players saying, listen, I'm your head coach. You got to understand this is a player-coach relationship. And, of course, she's not that young, not that older as far as the age difference between some of her players. She's a 2016 alum of Judson University. On the flip side of the coin, you have Brandon Rogers, who, as mentioned, his first season at the helm of Yellowstone Christian, coming over after coaching at Grace University, not Grace College for anybody that might be confused with Grace College here in Winona Lake, Indiana, but he coached at Grace University in Omaha. Before that, was an assistant at the University of Maine at Augusta, and he also played at the University of Maine at Augusta with 1,700 points and over 1,000 rebounds. Mightily impressive in his tenure there. But you take a look at both of these teams. Yellowstone Independent, they are not affiliated with a conference. They come in with a 13-7 mark. Judson on the flip side, 17-7. As both of these schools have made their way to the fifth place matchup. Both of these teams were in action, of course, on Wednesday to open up the tournament. Judson lost 75-72 to Bruton Parker College, and Yellowstone Christian defeated 92-66 to Mid-American Christian University. Yesterday in the consolation matchups, it was Judson defeating Hiwassee College 76-74, and Yellowstone Christian an 82-60 win over Bluefield College. So that brings upon us the fifth place matchup for the women's contests, as we will go as well. Let's pick up the starting lineups from our public address announcer right now.
Starting at the 5, guard, senior number 2, Karen Roscoe. Guard, senior number 3, Daryl Evans. Forward, freshman number 14, Hannah Hayes. Guard, junior number 23, Zalea Evans. And rounding out starting 5, guard, senior number 25, Alyssa Strickland. Head coach, Brandon Rogers. Now, for the home team on the scoreboard, Judson University Lady Eagles from Elgin, Illinois.
right, the introductions for both teams. For the Judson Lady Eagles, coming from Elgin, Illinois, which is just outside of Chicago, 30 minutes, actually about 30 miles outside of Chicago, near O'Hare Airport in the northwest suburbs. Well, Yellowstone Christian, they had to travel all the way from Billings, Montana, talking with Brandon Rogers, a 20-hour bus ride, but they have been here since Wednesday and get set for their third and final game of this tournament. Judson is considered the home team. The Judson Eagles, they are in their white on white with gold numerals front and back, a touch of navy blue at the top and along the sides. For Yellowstone Christian, they are in their black on black with kind of a neon greenish look on the front and back in terms of the numbers, as well as YCC, Yellowstone Christian College, in neon green. So we are getting set as Yellowstone Christian with Evans at center for the tip and Victoria Johnson for the Judson Lady Eagles. And the ball controlled in the backcourt of the Yellowstone Christian College Ladies Centurions. And we're underway. Fifth place matchup here from Grace College. Here's a feed down low for Strickland, and Strickland counted off the glass. Strickland with her first 2 points and a 2-0 lead as Strickland with the penetration. Now in transition with the basket. Number 13, Deja Pruitt. Pruitt, the sophomore, 5'11" sophomore, coming up with the basket. So here is Yellowstone Christian in transition with Orozco, the 5'4" sophomore, pitching it ahead. They'll keep it outside, starting to drive. Evans lets it go, cannot get it to drop, and the rebound control, flat-footed Pruitt. And here comes Judson working the length of the floor quickly in transition. Trying to feed it. Here is a three from the left corner, near side, triple it up for Emmeline Wright. Emmeline Wright, one of their big scorers on this team, as well as Karen Orozco for Yellowstone Christian. A 5-2 lead for the Judson Lady Eagles. Here's a long jumper that doesn't drop for Evans. In transition, here comes Judson. Wright with the basketball, pitches it out. They'll go down low, right in the paint. Pruitt, turnaround, cannot get it to drop. And here comes Yellowstone Christian in transition. A bounce at the top. Here is a long two that drops for Evans from inside the arc. And a 5-4 lead for Judson. 1 point for the designated home team on the board. As here is Pruitt trying to come off the glass and does. Deja Pruitt with her second field goal. Give her 4 points. And Judson with a 7-4 advantage. Orozco in transition, left-handed dribble, along three, right wing near side, triple it up for Karen Orozco, the 5'4" senior guard, with the first three-pointer of the night for Evers' squad, and mark up a deadlock, 7-7, Yellowstone Christian and Judson. Here's a pass sailing to the corner, picked up in the far corner, almost went out of bounds. Now Pruitt, right at the key, pitches it outside. Here's a three-point attempt, counted, triple it up for Mahar. And Maggie Mahar with a three-pointer. The 5'9" senior forward connects. A 10-7 lead for the Judson Lady Eagles as Yellowstone Christian in transition. Here is Strickland, a three from the right elbow near side. Can't get it to drop. There was contact. Looks like there's going to be 3 shots for Elisa Strickland. So shooting is Strickland, makes the first. 10-8 our score early if you're just joining us. Second free throw drops and make it 10-9. This is the second of 3. She was fouled from beyond the arc. Strickland to the line, lets it go, counted on the third. So mark up a deadlock on 3 free throws. The foul called on number 21, Tamia Banks. Front court left for Judson. Here's Emmeline Wright. Wright backs it outside, and Judson comes up with a miss as they can't get it to drop. With the miss for Judson, Victoria Johnson. Working the point, Karen Orozco, the 5'4" senior, tries to come around a screen to the far elbow left, and a pushing foul called by Judson. 10-all between Judson and Yellowstone Christian. The foul called on number 10 of Judson, Victoria Johnson. Front court right, Yellowstone Christian works. Here is Strickland, a three, triple it up for the top of the key for Alicia Strickland, the 5'6" senior guard. Comes up with the three-pointer, and Yellowstone Christian, the first lead of the night. By the way, these are 10-minute quarters, not 20-minute halves, so they're going to be divided between 10-minute quarters in women's basketball. We have a foul by Yellowstone Christian. Daryl Evans called for the foul, her first, and for Yellowstone Christian, that's their first personal. It will send Maggie Mahar to the line. The 5'9" senior already with 3 points, counted on the first free throw. (13-11), Yellowstone Christian with the advantage. Second free throw drops. 5 points for Mahar. And a 13-12 lead for Yellowstone Christian. All the way from Billings, Montana, as checking into the game, Hannah Hayes. And now we have a steal at midcourt as the ball goes out of bounds, and they're going to say last touch by Judson. With 5:59 opening quarter, 13-12, Yellowstone Christian on top. Orozco looking to trigger the ball in, feeds it for Strickland. A man-to-man defense displayed by the Judson University Lady Eagles. Orozco crossover, a three, top of the key, and from NBA range, Karen Orozco comes up with her second three-pointer of the night. Give her 6 points, all on three-pointers, and the lead for Yellowstone Christian at 4 at 16-12. Here's a pass going down low and a reverse move. Can't get it to drop for Johnson, and the put in good. Pruitt with the put in. So the lead 16-14, and a miss for the Judson Lady Eagles. Here it comes in transition. The ball stolen away. Banks at midcourt, and we have a reach in. Evans called for the three. Or check that, Evans called for the foul. Her second. Banks works in between the circles with the left-handed dribble, switches over to the right. At the left elbow near side. The pitch for Johnson as the ball deflected away nicely out of bounds. Evans, good defense for Yellowstone Christian. The crowd has thinned out considerably, of course. Grace College playing in the 5th place men's game. Of course, Judson, the closest school to Grace Christian, here in the Midwest, just outside of Chicago to the northwest. Here's Pruitt down low, trying to pitch it for Johnson. Now a three attempt right wing far side, can't get it to drop for Wright. However, Judson able to keep it alive. Here's a pitch. A Mar with a three-point attempt, doesn't get to drop off the back iron from the near corner left. And Yellowstone Christian with the lead at 16-14. A slow walk into the front court right for Karen Orozco. A one-bounce pitch inside the arc as the ball almost stolen away by Judson. Here is Strickland, a three, can't get it to drop. Rails around the island, or the rim. Mahar with the rebound. And here comes Judson in transition. 4:12 in a downward spiral clock, opening quarter. As Mahar drops it down low, Pruitt in the lane, count it, off in for Pruitt. 8 points for Pruitt, wearing number 13 for the Judson University Lady Eagles inside 4 minutes, opening quarter. Here's Orozco at the top of the key. Met briefly by a double team, now tries to come around a screen at the far left elbow, and the ball goes out of bounds. Sarah Nelson, the head coach, right in front of her, right in front of the Judson bench. Yellowstone Christian with Orozco will bring the ball in bounds. Evans with the ball at the right elbow, elevates for three, can't get it to drop from the near side, off the back iron, and the rebound controlled right with the left-handed dribble, and it goes out of bounds right at the sideline at mid-court near side, deflected away by Evans. So 3 minutes and 30 seconds, a downward spiral clock, 16 all, competitive opening quarter as Pruitt pitches it out for Wright. Left-handed dribble, as we have a foul. Evelyn Wright drawing the contact.
Fouls in series number 14, Hannah Hayes, her first, team third.
Hannah Hayes called for her first personal, the team's third. Two of those fouls on Darilla Evans. Bring the ball inbounds, Maggie Mahar, the 5'9" senior forward. Here's a quick release for three, right from the far corner right. Can't get it to drop. Pruitt, the leaping rebound in the paint. And we have a foul in the act of shooting on Yellowstone Christian. We'll send Deja Pruitt to the line. The foul called on number 14, Hannah Hayes. So Pruitt to the line as the gym deafening here at Grace College. Pruitt to the line, shooting to our left, lets it go, counted on the first. 8 points for Pruitt in the game. Check that, 9 points for her with the free throw, looking for double-digit figures with the back end of the free throws here. Second free throw, ricochets around the iron, doesn't drop. And here comes Yellowstone Christian in transition, down by one. The lead has seesawed in the opening quarters. We come up on 3 minutes. Here is a drive from left of the key. Count it, off the glass for Akia. Akia with her first 2 points. And the lead back up to one for Yellowstone Christian at 18-17. Front court left for the Judson University Lady Eagles. As Judson looking to go over the 500 mark with a win to end their season. Banks at the right elbow, far side, pitches it out for Wright. The shot clock down to 6, down to 5. Here's a baseline jumper in for Pruitt. So Pruitt with another basket for her team, give her 11 points. Judson with the lead at 19-18, 2:20 and counting opening quarter. Pelletier in the game for Yellowstone Christian. Here's a three from the right elbow near side as Orozco doesn't get to drop, but she draws the foul. She'll go to the line for three throws, shooting to our right. Mahar called for the foul, her first. The third team foul for the Judson University Lady Eagles as it will send Karen Orozco to the line. Orozco shooting to our right, lets it go. No on the first. Second free throw doesn't drop with one more coming. So Orozco, who for Judson, or for Yellowstone Christian, pardon me, had 31 points yesterday. As the free throw drops, the third end of the free throw, so mark up a deadlock. 19-19. Front court left for the Lady Eagles. Here's a three from the left wing, triple it up for Johnson, as Johnson comes up with the three. Victoria Johnson, her first points, it's a three-pointer. So give Judson a 22-19 lead with Orozco coming off a 31-point game with 7 of 15 shooting from beyond the arc. She misses from the right wing near side on that three-point attempt. As here comes Judson in transition, coming up on a minute and a half before the end of the opening quarter. Johnson, the pitch for Mahar. She starts to drive left hand, cuts left baseline, counted for Mahar. Second field goal for Mahar. And the lead for Johnson up to 5 at 24-19. front court right for Yellowstone Christian. The Lady Centurions trailing by 5, down 2 possessions, trying to cut it to 1 possession. Strickland, the pitch outside, a long 3 by Pelletier. She comes up missing, and in transition, count it and 1. Judson goes to the line as Banks with the basket, drawing contact in the process. The lead up to 7 points. So Banks shooting to our left, looking to complete the 3-point play as Pelletier called for the foul. Banks looking to complete the 3-point play, cannot, off the back iron, leaping rebound, Evans of Yellowstone Christian. Brandon Rogers standing up likewise, Sarah Nelson, the head coaches of Yellowstone Christian and Judson respectively. Strickland dribbling with the right hand, motions with the left, now switches over. Here is Evans, the pitch outside, a 3 from the left wing, far side, nicks the iron for Akia, and Judson in transition, down to 25 seconds and counting, a 1-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. As Banks, the pitch for Mahar, goes down low for Pruitt. She cannot come up with it off the glass, trying to fight for the rebound, gets it in the paint, and they're gonna say a travel called on Deja Pruitt. Judson in the win over Hiawassee College, winning 76-74. Wright leading the way with an impressive 38 points. Here at Grace College just yesterday, the ball loose as picked up by Judson, and that's going to do it for the opening quarter. So the first 10 minutes in the books that have the Judson Lady Eagles on top 26-19 over the Yellowstone Lady Christian Centurions. I'm Frank Sprinkle, so happy you could join us on the NCCAA Championship Network. We'll take a break and come back with the second quarter. You're listening to the NCCAA Championship Network. And welcome back inside Grace College as the final game of the day on the women's side for 5th place of the National Christian College Athletic Association, the 5th place game in women's basketball that have the Yellowstone Christian College Lady Centurions trailing 26-19 to the Judson Lady Eagles. Judson coming in with a 17-17 record, while not affiliated with a conference. They're independent. Yellowstone Christian 13-7, 2 first-year head coaches in Brandon Rogers and Sarah Nelson. So on day 3 of the tournament, the second quarter begins with Banks, right-handed dribble, motions with the left, backs up, works in between the circles, pitches it down low. Pruitt, here's a return to Banks outside the arc to the right. Trying to pitch it down low as they'll go for Keene into the game. Now here's an attempt as the basket waved off. So they're going to say a turnover on Judson College, so Judson University nullified the basket as Yellowstone Christian works into the front court right with Orozco working the point, the feed for IKEA. Now Orozco at the left elbow starts to drive from the left baseline, blocked from behind by Wright, and here comes Judson clearing, flat-footed rebound, controlled. Now Banks, right elbow into the front court left, pitches it out. Keene in between the circles for Banks. Banks holds her dribble, trying to pitch it down low. Goes for Pruitt, turnaround jumper, too strong off the glass, and the flat-footed rebound controlled. Yellowstone Christian Evans, the flat-footed rebound. 26-19, Judson with the 7-point advantage. Here's a three by Evans from the top of the key. Can't get it to drop as the ball loose, and we're going to have a jump ball as the possession arrow favors Yellowstone Christian, so they will keep it as Orozco brings the ball baseline to the near left, triggering into the front court. Goes for Strickland, a three right wing, triple it up for Strickland, her second three-pointer. And Strickland with 11 points, as mentioned, on 2 3-pointers as well. Front court left as it's stolen away Orozco. Yellowstone Christian looking to put together a run. Orozco with the right-handed dribble. The pitch for Evans, a three, top of the key, can't get it to drop. The rebound controlled right, and Judson works into the front court left. Left-handed dribble. Emmeline Wright now starts to drive into traffic, draws contact on her way to the netted cup. She'll go to the line for a pair. Hayes called for the foul. Wright shooting to our left. Wright lets it go, arcs it up, perfect on the first. 5-point lead for Judson. 27-22. Isabel Erickson checking in for the Lady Centurions. Second three for Wright drops. 28-22, a 6.2 possession lead for Judson University. A little more than 2 minutes gone by, second quarter. Front court right for Yellowstone Christian as it's poking away, stolen briefly, the ball loose, and they're gonna say backcourt violation, so Judson will, or no, check that, there's a foul. A foul on Yellowstone Christian, the third personal called for Evans. 7:59 before halftime, and Judson with a 28-22 lead. Non-shooting for Judson as Johnson pitches it outside. Now Johnson goes in the corner for Wright, near side, a three, can't get it to drop, and the rebound controlled in the paint by Pelletier. And here come the Lady Centurions of Yellowstone Christian from Billings, Montana. Front court right for Yellowstone Christian. Strickland a three, top of the key, air to be felt, and going out of bounds. Will go to Judson with 7:31. Second quarter, 28-22. Judson with the advantage. Judson, the designated home team by virtue of them being the 7th seed. Yellowstone Christian the 8th seed. Here's a drive into the front court. Now Wright starts to drive, lets it go, too strong, but draws contact in the act of shooting. Foul on Yellowstone Christian. Not a lot of people here for this matchup. Of course, I was told this field house seats 2,100 in terms of the capacity. Stadium seating, boarded off by sections, beautiful. The foul called on Pelletier. The free throw drops for Wright. 29-22, the lead, 7 for Judson. Second free throw drops, and it's 30-22. So an 8-point lead for Judson. Front court right as Strickland works the point. Left-handed dribble, switches over to the right, almost has it stolen away. Now moves inside, the ball loose, comes out to Yellowstone Christian, and a foul on the far sideline right in front of the Judson bench, called on the Lady Eagles. The foul called on Emmeline Wright, her first personal for Judson. That's their first team foul. As we have a whistle. Not quite sure what this is all about. Looks like something fell on the floor, picked up by the officials. So Judson, or check that, Yellowstone Christian in their black on black with neon green numbers front and back, will get the ball in the second quarter. Judson with a 30-22 lead. Strickland at the left elbow, far side, right-handed dribble. Feeds it for Pelletier, works in between the circles. A 2-3 zone displayed by Judson, and we have contact in the Yellowstone Christian front court. Foul on Judson.
Eagles number 11,
Starletta Keene called for her first. That's the second team foul for Judson. So the ball inbounds by Yellowstone Christian, looking to cut into the 8-point deficit. Here's a running jumper with the left hand, and the scoop good by Pelletier. So Pelletier with her first 2 points of the game. And the lead 30-24 as we have contact, a foul on Yellowstone Christian in the Judson front court. Roscoe with the foul. That is her first personal, the team's fourth. So each team squared at 4 fouls apiece as the free throw misses by Keene. Only 7 players for Yellowstone Christian dressed here tonight. 2 on the bench, so you're going to see a lot of minutes for these girls of Yellowstone Christian. Second free throw also doesn't drop, so here comes Yellowstone Christian in transition. Both teams squared up. Or check that, Yellowstone Christian with 4 fouls, Judson with 2 fouls. As it will go the other way with 6:17 remaining, second quarter. A 30-24 lead for Judson here at Grace College, the site of the NCCAA basketball tournament, women's and men's. So happy you could join us, Frank Sprinkle, for the ride here on the NCCAA Championship Network. Here's Mahar down low, bouncing it outside for Banks. Left wing 3 from the near side off the back iron, and we have contact immediately. So a foul on Judson. The first personal for Danae McCauley. So McCauley called for her first personal. That's the 3rd Judson team foul. Front court to the right, Yellowstone Christian works the length of the floor. Orozco, the handoff for Strickland. 2-3 zone for the Judson Lady Eagles. A long 3 from the right wing, can't drop for Strickland. Here comes Judson in transition into the front court left as Wright starts to drive. Left baseline, gets around defenders and count it for Emmeline Wright. Beautiful move for Emmeline Wright, and the lead 8 for Judson at 32-24. Inside 5.5 minutes before halftime, front court right for the Lady Centurions. Here's a 3 attempt, triple it up for Orozco. Actually, check that, it's a 2 for Orozco. She had her foot on the line, so 2 points, and the lead 2 possessions for Judson at 32-26. Front court left looking to expand their lead. Mahar had it stripped, and here comes Judson out of the pile, but Mahar able to get back to it. The feed for Wright down low, counted for Wright. Emmeline Wright with the basket. She has 9 points, and the lead up to 8 at 34-26 for the Judson University Lady Eagles. Inside 5 minutes before halftime, Orozco with the left-handed dribble and fouled from behind by Emmeline Wright. Now looks like we have a timeout. Not sure who called it. Timeout called. Nelson asking questions. It's a media timeout. We'll do the same. In the 5th place game on the women's side of the NCCAA tournament, Judson with a 34-26 lead over Yellowstone Christian on the NCCAA Championship Network. welcome you back on the NCCAA Championship Network. Frank Sprinkle, so happy you could join us here for the 5th place matchup on the women's side of the tournament. Of course, the men concluding their action for today, the 3rd place and championships of the women's and men's tomorrow. All of the action can be heard on these airwaves. The NCCAA Championship also with the live video stream. Front court right for Yellowstone Christian, as Akira trying to get it out, feeds it down low. Now it'll kick it out. Akira once again loses the handle briefly. Now Orozco gets it back inside 4.5 minutes. Left-handed dribble, cuts left of the key. Teardropper in the lane, can't get it to fall. Leaping rebound by Pruitt. Here comes Judson with the 8-point lead in transition. Here's right at the left elbow near side. Holds her dribble. It drops it down low. Pruitt, a scoop shot counted in the paint. Deja Pruitt with 13 points and the lead up to 10. Judson's biggest lead of the night at 36-26. Front court right, a 2-3 zone displayed by Judson briefly. Now here's a drive, too strong for Pelletier. However, she was fouled in the act of shooting. Foul on Judson. Pruitt called for her first personal. That's Judson's 5th. Comes in the act of shooting. Counted for Pruitt on the first. Majesty Pruitt, the 5'7" junior guard, her first point of the night. Or check that, her 3rd point, make that 4 points for Pruitt, for Pelletier. And the lead 36-28 for Judson. Front court left for the Lady Eagles. Here's a 3 attempt Mahar. She comes up missing. However, they're able to keep it alive. Front court left for Judson, and they're white on white with gold numerals front and back. Here's a 3 for Johnson near corner left. Can't get it to fall, and the flat-footed rebound controlled by Erickson. Here comes Yellowstone Christian on the move. Front court right with Orozco. Motion with the right hand, dribbling to the left, in between the circles, working the point. Strickland losing the handle from behind, stolen away by Judson. Here comes Banks. Banks into the front court right with speed. Feeds it for Mahar down low. Cash off the glass for Mahar as she comes up with the baskets. Banks with a good assist as a timeout called by Yellowstone Christian, a 30-second timeout, and will do the same on the NCCAA Championship Network. .254 remaining in the 5th place game of the NCCAA basketball tournament. It's the women's side featuring Judson and Yellowstone Christian. Judson holding their biggest advantage of the night at 10 points over Yellowstone Christian, 38-28. Yellowstone Christian with the ball trailing by 10 out of the 30-second timeout called by Brandon Rogers, their head coach. Front court right, here's a feed down low, left of the key. As the ball comes loose for Orozco. Orozco countering with Banks in the near corner right. Orozco comes crossover, now starts to drive baseline right. Lets it go, leaves it short. Banks the flat-footed rebound. Judson in transition. Left-handed dribble, quickly in between the circles. Switches over to the right hand. 2-3 zone displayed by Yellowstone Christian. Pruitt down low. We have a foul first called on Yellowstone Christian. Orozco called for her 2nd personal, the team's 5th, and will send Pruitt to the line. 13 points for Pruitt, looking to make it 14. She cannot, denied by the back iron or the front iron on the first. Pruitt the leading scorer for either team at the moment. A few dribbles at the charity stripe, looks at the basket, arcs it up, denied by the back iron on the second. The rebound controlled, Yellowstone Christian. As Pelletier with the rebound, and we have contact in between the circles. A foul on Judson.
Foul, Eagles, number 21, Tamia Banks. Her
The
second.
foul call on Tamia Banks. Both teams in the bonus. As Orozco shoots to our right. The Jim Deafening lets it go, counted on the first end of the 1-and-1. Orozco, the 5'4" senior guard, one of three seniors with Evans and Strickland on this Yellowstone Christian squad. Second three for up in the air, counted perfectly as the lead trimmed to 38-30 here at Grace College. Front court left as Banks in between the circles, pitches it out for Mahar, goes across. The work outside the perimeter, inside 2 minutes. The shot clock down to 15, 1:55 in a downward spiral clock. Here's a bounce down low as the ball is coming up with the miss as into the game for Judson. Jade Warner, first time we're seeing her in the game. And here comes Yellowstone Christian in transition. Left-handed dribble, Orozco tries to come around a screen set up by Pelletier at the top of the key. Now starting to drive from the left baseline. Here is Pelletier, a three, top of the key, triple it up for Majesty Pelletier. The junior 5'7" guard comes up with the 3 points to cut the lead to 5 for Judson. And there's a steal by Yellowstone Christian. So Yellowstone Christian inside the final minute, down by 2 possessions, looking to make a quick run. Has a work outside with Erickson. Pitches it outside. Here is Strickland going down low for Erickson, or trying to, as the ball poked, and they're going to say last touch by Judson with 46.7 remaining and 9 on the shot clock. So Yellowstone Christian will get the ball as we have a timeout.
And 30-second timeout called by the Eagles.
Okay, Judson calls a timeout, 30-second timeout. We'll do the same, 46.7 in the 5th place game that have Judson on top, 38-33 on the NCCAA Championship Network. Out of the 30-second timeout called by Judson with 46.7 remaining, 38-33 Judson in the women's 5th place matchup of the NCCAA basketball tournament. Yellowstone Christian will bring the ball inbounds with Orozco. Baseline to the right to the far side for Pelletier. A long three in between the circles almost, denied by the back iron. Banks the flat-footed rebound for Judson. Lady Eagles resetting their offense, coming up on 35 seconds and counting as Warner pitches it outside. Now a left-handed dribble as Mahar. The feed for Warner. Warner left-handed dribble. Here's a three by Mahar. Triple it up from the top of the key for Maggie Mahar. The 5'9" senior forward connects. A 41-33 lead for Judson in the final seconds. The shot clock off here from Grace College. Orozco in between the circles, a long three, can't get it to rattle. Banks the leaping rebound into the hands of Warner from half court. And a long shot, no roll of the dice, as that's how the opening 20 minutes comes to an end, with Judson holding a 41-33 lead on Yellowstone Christian. This is the women's 5th place matchup of the NCCAA basketball tournament. You're listening to the NCCAA Championship Network. And we welcome you back for the second half of the 5th place matchup on the women's side of the National Christian College Athletic Association basketball tournament. Boy, what a festive atmosphere it has been. I was driving through Winona Lake here in Indiana. This is being played in Winona Lake, Indiana. And they had a big banner in the downtown welcoming the tournament. Anyway, Frank Sprankle, as well as Andres Placiano here, is so happy he could join us. As Pruitt starts to drive, we start the second half with the leading scorer at the moment for Judson, 13 points by Pruitt. In transition, here comes Yellowstone Christian, front court to the left. Now bounce down low for Evans. Front court left as both teams switch their respective sidelines. Evans with the left-handed dribble from about the 3-4 line, lets it go off the mark, and the flat-footed rebound by Banks. Quickly ahead, here's Johnson driving, counted off the glass for Victoria Johnson to the netted cup. The lead up to 10 points, 43-33 lead for Judson. Here is Strickland, a 3, leaves it, or checked it along 2, leaves it short. Plenty of air felt for Alicia Strickland, the senior 6'5" guard. What a day here at Grace College. It's been a great host, and certainly so happy you could join us here for a great few days of basketball on the NCCAA Championship Network, with third place and championship matchups of the women's and men's coming tomorrow. Here's a 3 for Wright, can't get it to drop from the near right elbow. Front court left, as in transition, Evans feeds it ahead, starting the drive to the netted cup, and count it for Hannah Hayes. 43-35 for Hayes, her first 2 points of the evening. Here's a pitch to the inside and counted off the glass for Johnson, as Johnson makes good to give Judson back the 10-point lead. And now one of the officials going to the scores table, not sure what that conversation was all about. Judson with a 45-35 lead here at Grace College against Yellowstone Christian in the women's bracket of the NCCAA tournament. Front court left, Strickland with the right-handed dribble, comes around a screen set at the top with the right hand. The work outside the perimeter with Evans. Evans, right-handed dribble, has a shot blocked. Looks like it was blocked by Pruitt. The ball out of bounds, and last touch, Yellowstone Christian. Judson with the ball. A minute 55 gone by third quarter. 45-35 the lead for the Judson Lady Eagles. Front court right in between the circles as Tamia Banks with the right-handed dribble. Banks a thin frame and all for Mahar. Banks at the left elbow far side as Judson, or Yellowstone Christian, who had a 2-3 defense. Here's a 3 left elbow from the far side, doesn't drop for Banks, and the rebound Evans of Yellowstone Christian. And the Lady Centurions working in the front court left with Karen Orozco. Orozco, the left-handed dribble, starts to drive, left of the basket, count it on the run. Orozco with the basket, 13 points for her. The lead 8 for Judson at 45-37. Front court right with Banks. Emmeline Wright, the leading scorer for Judson, drops it down low and counted off the glass for Maggie Mahar. So it seems whenever Yellowstone Christian answers, it's Judson who finds the response. And they do, to bring the lead up to 10 at 47-37. Here is Strickland as contact made at the left elbow near side between Hayes and Banks. Both went to the floor, got up on there without any help. 6:54, third quarter. As Orozco looking up, talking to the official, she's looking up, pointing toward the scoreboard. I'm not sure what this is all about. Her team is trailing by 10 at 47-37, but play on as the ball inbounds. Evans, a 3 right elbow far side, triple it up for Evans. The 3 drops for Evans and give her 5 points. Front court right as the Judson Lady Eagles work offensively. Johnson, a 3 from the top of the key. Triple it up for Johnson. A 50-40 lead for the Judson Lady Eagles. Johnson, 10 points in double digits. Front court to the left. Evans in the lane, counted for 2. 50-42, the lead for Judson. Staring into a 2-3 zone in the front court right. Here is a 3 attempt for Wright. Can't get it to drop from the near corner. And the rebound control to Orozco. Well, left-handed dribble, switches over to the right at the right elbow, far side. Now switches over to the right, starts a drive. Right baseline, counted on the run, Orozco. The lead up to 6, 2 possessions for Judson as Yellowstone Christian shipping into the league. Almost stolen away, but Mahar able to get it back for Judson. Now Pruitt in the lane, Pruitt dancing. Turnaround jumper counted for Pruitt. 52-44, the lead for the Judson Lady Eagles. Almost losing the handle, Hayes, as she goes across for Orozco. A 3 from the near corner left. Nicks the iron, however, flat-footed offensive rebound controlled by Akia. And here comes Judson resetting their offense. Inside, coming up on 5 minutes remaining before the end of the third quarter, that has Judson up 52-44. A big possession here for Yellowstone Christian, trying to feed it inside, but it's stolen away by Wright. However, Strickland able to get on her hands on it. Here comes a baseline drive for Orozco, counted and 1 for Karen Orozco. 52-46, the lead up to 6 it can be cut to 5 as Orozco, 17 points, eyeing number 18. Into the game for Judson, Danae McCauley, the 5'8" sophomore. Shooting to our left hand, completing the three-point play. Orozco, and Judson wants to call a timeout, a brief 30-second timeout with 4:45 third quarter. Judson, a 52-47 lead over Yellowstone Christian, 5th place matchup. This is the NCCAA Championship Network. Out of the 30-second timeout, called by Judson University and their first-year head coach, Sarah Nelson. As mentioned, both of these schools featuring first-year head coaches, Brandon Rogers, Yellowstone Christian's head coach, also in his first year, and also the athletic director. Now, interesting about Yellowstone Christian, they have 2 programs, 1 men's and 1 women's, and they're both basketball. But Brandon Rogers, talking to him, hopes to expand in the years to come. A 3 from the top of the key doesn't drop for Judson. Wright gets it back. She missed the 3 initially, starts to drive, draws contact right in front of the basket in the act of shooting. Foul on Yellowstone Christian. And they're going to say the foul on Pelletier. Go check that, not Pelletier, Hannah Hayes. That's her 4th personal. She's in foul trouble at the moment, as it sends Emmeline Wright shooting to our right, makes good on the first. 12 points for Emmeline Wright with another one to come. 2 dribbles at the charity stripe for Wright, eyeing the basket, quick bend, lets it go, counted on the second. 54-47, the lead up to 7 for Judson. A 3-possession advantage for the Lady Eagles as it stands 4:34 third quarter from Grace College. Working the point dead center, Strickland, the 5'6" senior, slow walk into the front court, dribbles with the right, briefly motion with the left. The pitch to the right for Akia, in between the circles, Evans. Now Strickland, 2-3 zone by Judson. Here's a long 3, triple it up and 1. In the act of shooting, Strickland drawing the foul. She'll go to the line to look to complete what does happen, but a rare 3-point or 4-point play. Check that. The three good by Strickland with, would you believe it, one more coming. 14 points, looking for 15, counted for 15 for Strickland. More importantly, the lead for Judson shaved to one possession at 54-51. Front court right for the Judson University Lady Eagles. Working outside as Macaulay into the game. Mahar in between the circles, a one bounce pass, a left wing three from the far side, can't drop for Johnson. Leaping rebound by Pelletier, stolen away by Judson briefly, and now Yellowstone Christian gets their hands on it. A three-pointer can tie it here in the Grace College gym. The fifth place matchup on the women's side of the NCCAA basketball tournament. Judson has led most of the way. They only lead by 3 as it stands. Strickland the hot hand, right-handed dribble, and draws contact as she was moving toward the right elbow far side. The second foul called on Macaulay. Her second personal. That's the 4th team foul for Judson. Here's a three. Strickland triple it up from the right elbow far side. And we have a game as Alicia Strickland, the 5'6" senior guard, marks up a deadlock at 54 all in the against Judson College. 2-3 zone by Yellowstone Christian. Front court right for Judson. Macaulay holds, pitches it outside the perimeter. They'll go for right at the right elbow. Now starts a drive, baseline, awkward shot, can't get it to drop. Draws contact in the act of shooting.
Foul Centurions number 3, Daryl Evans, her 4th, team 2nd.
The foul called on Yellowstone Christian. That's the 4th team foul for Evans. She's in foul trouble. And remember, you only have 7 players dressed for Yellowstone Christian. So that will send Emmeline Wright to the line. 2 dribbles at the charity stripe, a third one. Lets it go. Perfect on the first and unlock that deadlock at 55-54 for Judson Lady Eagles. One thing about Judson, they have the advantage of going to their bench. They have 12 players as the second free-throw drops for Wright and a 2-point advantage at one possession, 56-54 for Judson over Yellowstone Christian. Here's a drive by Orozco, lets it go off the back iron, denied, gets her own rebound, the ball loose, and into the front court, and looking in the back court, actually now into the front court, works Judson University. Here's a peach for Mahar. Mahar, left-handed dribble at the right elbow near side, and do we have a travel? Yes, we do on Emmeline Wright. She pivot, and as a result, with 2:21 third quarter, Judson with a 56-54 lead over Yellowstone. However, Yellowstone can make it a tie game, even take the lead with a three-pointer. We have contact as Orozco draws the foul. Emmeline Wright called for the foul, her third personal, and the 15th foul for Judson. Judson 5-2 fouls for Yellowstone Christian. So Orozco shooting to our left, the gym deafening. Lets the first one go and ricochets around the iron, no good on the first. A second free-throw coming. With 2:10 remaining third quarter in the 5th place matchup of the NCCAA Women's Basketball Tournament, the 5th place matchup as mentioned, Judson with a 56-54 lead over Yellowstone Christian. Karen Orozco looking toward the bench now. Eyes the second, makes good, a split pair for Orozco as it's 56-55, a 1-point lead. Judson looking to expand beyond 1 point. Here is Pruitt down low, counted for Pruitt. The lead up to one possession in the form of a three-pointer for Judson. Inside 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Orozco left-handed dribble, backs out. Outside the perimeter with the right hand, switches over to the left to Roscoe. Teardropper leaves it short by the iron. And do we have a foul? Yes, we do on Judson.
Foul on the Eagles, number 13, Deja Pruitt, her second.
Deja Pruitt called for the foul. Her second personal. The team's fifth. Orozco at the line, shooting 2, looking to trim the lead to 1 as it stands 58-55. Quick Ben Orozco lets it go, perfect on the first. 58-56, Orozco looking to make it a 1-possession deficit. Shooting to her left, a couple of dribbles, now a third and fourth at the charity stripe, arcs it up. And rimming, no, it went halfway down, then bounced out and into the hands of Mahar for Judson. Mahar with the right-handed dribble, front court right, can extend to a 2-possession lead with Pruitt in the lane, pitches it out. They won right-handed dribble, penetrates in the lane, counted and one for Emmeline Wright. Fouled in the act of shooting. So the lead 60-56 for Judson, and now we have a brief conference with the official, one of the officials, as well as those at the scores table. The foul called, the first foul on Erickson. Her, as mentioned, her first, the team's third. Now both officials meeting at the scores table, uncertain what this conversation. $60-58, the lead for Judson. So happy you could join us here on the NCCAA Championship Network. Frank Sprinkle, Mike's side, with Andres Palacio here, handling the tech aspect, the camera, as well as trying to keep my sanity. Well, you are. Yeah, he's doing a good job. I tell you what, Andres doing a terrific job handling the camera. We actually are a 2-camera operation with the game shot you're seeing, and then the second camera hooked eyeing the scoreboard. So a great job done by Andres here today on this Friday night with the tournament coming to an end tomorrow. It was actually a timeout called. Did not see the timeout being called. But we'll keep our live coverage here at Grace College. Just curious what the Yellowstone Christian uniforms, looks like they glow in the dark. Just if you were to dim the lights, that neon green would glow in the dark. But Brandon Rogers telling me, the head coach, a 20-hour drive in from Billings, Montana. Certainly we want to wish all the schools that are traveling near and far after tonight and tomorrow, safe travels. Right, looking to complete the 3-point play, cannot, off the iron on the first, and the rebound tracked by Pelletier in the corner, as here comes Yellowstone Christian, front court left, with Strickland. Right-handed dribble, motions with the left at the right elbow, far side, in front of her bench. Pelletier, the short feet on the line for IKEA. In between the circles, as Erickson also in the game for Yellowstone Christian. Down to 8 on the shot clock. Strickland the 3, leaves it short by the iron at the left elbow near side. Inside the final minute of play, third quarter. Here is McCauley drawing foul in the act of shooting, side of the basket. So a foul on Yellowstone Christian. That's their, let's see who the foul was on. The foul, okay, they're going to say the foul on Majesty Pelletier. Her third personal, the free throw arcs off the back iron, denied on the first. Pelletier along with IKEA, the only 2 juniors on this team, probably underclassmen. You have Hannah Hayes and Isabel Erickson, the only 2 underclassmen for Yellowstone Christian. Second free throw doesn't drop, flat-footed rebound controlled by IKEA. And here comes Yellowstone Christian in transition. Erickson, right-handed dribble, briefly motion with the left hand. at the left elbow near side. Orozco loses the handle to the near sideline. The ball goes out of bounds in the front court and will stay with Yellowstone Christian. 38 seconds remain, third quarter, with Judson holding a tight lead at 60-56, and quickly a foul on the inbounds. The foul on Judson, they're gonna say Dana McCauley called for her third personal. 5-team fouls for Judson will send to the line Pelletier. Shooting to our left, Pelletier arcs it up, perfect on the first. The lead one possession for Judson at 60-57, 36.8 remaining third quarter. Pelletier shooting to our left with a dribble, a second dribble, now a third and fourth. Eyes the basket, lets it go, counted on the second. 60-58, the lead shaved to one possession in the form of two for Judson. Wright brings the ball into the front court. Wright has it kicked away, just a brief kick by IKEA. So it will stay with Judson with 27 seconds, the shot clock 21, so a 6-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock, as we have a conference between the two officials. Judson will bring the ball inbounds right to the side of their head coach, Sarah Nelson. Nelson, a 2016 graduate of Judson, played her upperclassman ball at Judson University. Now is still by Yellowstone Christian as they lose the handle of IKEA, pitching it outside. Down to 17 seconds, the shot clock off. Judson, or I should say Yellowstone Christian, can potentially play for the last shot. Orozco pass deflected into the hands of McCauley. Down to 4 seconds, down to 3, as that's going to do it for the third quarter. The shot off, but not in time from the right elbow. And the third quarter comes to an end. Still anyone's game from Grace College in the fifth place matchup of the NCCAA women's basketball tournament. We go to the fourth quarter. Judson, a 60-58 lead on Yellowstone Christian on the NCCAA Championship Network. And we welcome you back inside Grace College, the 2019 host site of the National Christian College Athletic Association's basketball tournament. And I said this in the men's game earlier, but what makes this tournament great, it's both men's and women's. You think of the NCAA, you think of certainly the drama with those tournaments, but it's just men's in one location, women's in another. This is what makes it great. Men's and women's both align in the same gym over a 4-day span. Fourth quarter, Frank Sprinkle, Andres Palacio also here handling the camera and some of the technical matters you might see on the screen, doing a fine job. Appreciate Andres' help. The final 10 minutes about to begin. Pending overtime, as mentioned, Judson, this is a team that led at the end of the first half, 41-33. It was actually a lot larger than that, it seemed. The longest, trying to find the largest lead here for Judson, if we may. The largest lead for Judson was at 11, but I thought it was more. It was like 20 at one point. Seems a lot longer than that, but play on in the front court. Stolen away by Judson. Mahar with the steal. The largest lead, according to Judson, had it in the second quarter, 11 points at 4:06, but it seems a lot larger than that. Maybe it's because Yellowstone Christian had a hard time shooting, for at least from what we've seen. Pruitt with the basket. 62-58, the lead up to 2 possessions for Judson early on in the fourth quarter. As Orozco holds her dribble at the right, motions with the left, now dribbles with the right, trying to go down low and count it off the window for Erickson. So Erickson, her first 2 points of the evening, a 62-60 lead for Judson as the miss, and now here comes Yellowstone Christian in transition with Orozco. Left-handed dribble, switches over to the right. At the left elbow near side, Orozco starts to drive and count it as a hunt around the iron. So Orozco with 22 points, mightily impressive on her part, and we have a deadlock here at Grace College, 62 all between Judson and Yellowstone Christian. Mahar, right corner, 3 attempt off the iron from the near side, and the ball out of bounds will stay with Judson. 8:26 remaining in regulation. Who knows, maybe extra time will be needed. Emmeline Wright to bring the ball inbounds, baseline to the right, to the far right. 8:20 to downward spiral clock. Mahar, left-handed dribble, counters against Orozco, trying to find the outlet for Banks inside the arc. Now Johnson, a 3 right elbow, can't get it to drop from the near side off the back iron. Here comes Yellowstone Christian in transition. Strickland with the right-handed dribble. She crosses over, motions with the left hand. Right-handed dribble right in front of her bench. Now a 3, Orozco top of the key, rimming no, the flat-footed rebound right, as Judson can unlock the deadlock at 62 all. Inside 8 minutes remaining. Wright drawing contact as she was driving down the lane.
Fouls concerning number 5, Isabel Erickson, her second, team first.
So Erickson called for the foul. That is her second. And will send to the line Emmeline Wright. 17 points for Wright. Make it 18. More importantly, a 63-62 lead for Judson. With one more coming for Emmeline Wright. Concentrating at the line, lets it go on an arc, and Remy no, went halfway down, couldn't get to drop on the second. The ball out of bounds and will go to Yellowstone Christian, going the other way with 7:45 remaining in regulation. Yellowstone Christian working the length of the floor, dead center, right-handed dribble, now a right-hand dribble with the left-hand motion for Strickland, pitches it for Evans. Now a return to Strickland at the left elbow near side. Strickland holds her dribble, starts to dribble once with the right. Here's Hayes for Strickland, medium range jumper, good. Strickland gives her team the brief 2-point edge, or the brief 1-point edge, pardon me, at 64-63. 2-3 zone by Yellowstone Christian. Judson has not trailed much in this game here tonight. Here's Mahar down low, counted and one for Mahar. She'll go to the line, foul from behind in the act of shooting. Erickson called for her third personal, the second for Yellowstone Christian. So Mahar to the line, looking to complete the 3-point play to give her team a 2-point advantage. It stands 65-64 as of now. Mahar arcs it up and perfect on the free throw. The 3-point play complete. 66-64 the lead, and a timeout called, 30 seconds charge to Brandon Rogers. And we'll do the same. 7:02 remain in the 5th place game between Judson and Yellowstone Christian, with Judson leading 66-64. It's actually a media timeout, and we'll do the same on the NCCAA Championship Network. And we welcome you back on the NCCAA Championship Network. Frank Sprinkle from Grace College in Winona Lake, Indiana. The fifth place matchup, the final game of the day. The women's fifth place game as the Judson Lady Eagles leading Yellowstone Christian College 66-64 out of the media timeout. The ball brought inbounds by Yellowstone Christian at the right elbow near side. The feed for Hayes into the game for Yellowstone Christian. Now Strickland, the pitch in between the circles. Akia holds her dribble. The ball deflected and going out of bounds in the near sideline. Good defense by Tamia Banks. Banks, the 5'7" freshman, deflecting the ball away. Judson retains possession. Here's a long three. Orozco nicks the iron from almost in between the circles. Flat-footed offensive rebound controlled Evans, and Orozco will set the point for Yellowstone Christian. A three-pointer can give Yellowstone Christian a lead inside the arc. A tie game. Ikea holds her dribble in between the circles. Orozco with the holding her dribble. Now a fadeaway jumper, left baseline, no, but a foul in the act of shooting. And they're going to get Victoria Johnson for the foul. Her third personal and the first team foul for Judson. So that will send Orozco to the line with 22 points. Cannot connect for the 23rd. She misses on the first. 66-64 the lead, as you see on the screen on our webcast here on the NCCAA Championship Network. Judson with the 2-point advantage. However, Orozco looking to cut it to one. Arcs it up, does so with the second. Second free throw drop, 65-66 the lead. 6:15 in a downward spiral clock. Emmeline Wright, the pitch for Banks. Banks in between the circles, a 2-3 zone displayed by Yellowstone Christian. Mahar, as they'll keep it down low, going for Pruitt. She comes up missing, the ball loosed in the lane and picked up by Yellowstone Christian. Evans the rebound, the clear for Strickland. Dead center, cross court outlet into the hands of Evans. A return to Strickland with the right-handed dribble. Dropping it inside with Orozco. Going down low as contact made. Evans drawing it in the act of shooting as Brandon Rogers, the head coach, applauding in approval. Mahar called for her third personal, the team's second, will send Evans to the line as Evans can give her team the lead with both these free throws. She makes good on the first, so briefly we have a deadlock as it stands. The question is how long? 66-66, a tie game with Evans looking for the second, which would unlock the deadlock. Off the iron, and we have a deadlock as she comes up with the miss. The rebound controlled by Johnson, and here's Banks working the point. The pitch to Johnson at the left elbow near side. Banks outside the perimeter, goes for Mahar, drops it down low for Pruitt. Here's Mahar, a three from the right elbow near side, triple it up for Mahar, and a big three for her. Judson with a 69-66 lead, a one-possession lead in the form of a three-pointer, 5:20 in a downward spiral clock on this fifth-place women's matchup. Here is Orozco driving, and Orozco counted with the drive. The lead won at 69-68 for the Judson University Lady Eagles, looking to expand front court right. Here is a long deuce that doesn't drop for Banks, and Yellowstone Christian will look to regain the lead. They have had the lead briefly here in the second half. Strickland with the right-handed dribble, one bounce pass to the inside for Orozco. Left-handed dribble, the feed for Akia. Starts to drive, turnaround jumper in the lane, off the back iron, denied as a whistle comes in. And they're gonna say a foul on Yellowstone Christian. Orozco called for her third personal. Yellowstone Christian with 3 team fouls, 4:37 remaining in regulation, 69-68. Judson with the 1-point edge. Non-shooting as Judson working the length of the floor with Tamia Banks. Banks right-handed dribble, switches over to the left. Now with the right in between the circles, the pitch for Mahar, a three from the left elbow far side, triple it up for Mahar, and a big three for Mahar at that gives Judson a two-possession lead at 72-68. The lead for the Lady Eagles. Front court left, still anyone's game. Yellowstone Christian with the ball, and they're black on black with neon green numbers on the front and back, as well as YCC above the numbers on the front. A whistle comes in, and we have contact on Judson.
Foul Lady Eagles number 23, Danny McCauley, her fourth, team third.
Danny McCauley called for her fourth. That's her fourth personal. 3 fouls for Judson in this quarter. Non-shooting off the inbounds. Is the ball loose right in front of the far corner left side, in front of Brandon Rogers, the head coach of Yellowstone Christian. And they're going to say it will go to Judson with 3:52 remaining. 72-68. Judson looking to give themselves some breathing room beyond a two-possession advantage. Banks left-handed dribble, switches over to the right. The pitch, they'll keep it for McCauley. Now Johnson at the left elbow, far side, in between the circles, working the point, one bounce for Banks. Pitches it for Mahar, a 3 from the right elbow near side, off the iron, and the flat-footed rebound controlled by Yellowstone Christian. Orozco with the rebound, right-handed dribble, inside 3:20 for regulation. Inside the arc at the top, Orozco, right-handed dribble. Lets it go from about the 3-foot line, counted for Orozco. One possession lead in the form of 2, as Orozco, 27 points, mightily impressive, leading all scorers in this women's game at the moment. Sarah Nelson, motion with the left hand, standing up right in front of her bench. Mahar, the pitch for Banks, thought about taking the long deuce, but instead backs outside the arc in a 2-3 Yellowstone Christian zone. Wright with a long 3 from the right elbow near side, off the iron, rebound controlled. Yellowstone Christian, it's Evans, and Yellowstone Christian can tie the game with a deuce. A 3-pointer will give them the advantage. Strickland, the right-handed dribble, motion with the left at the left elbow, or right elbow, far side. Drops it inside for Evans. A turnaround jumper in the lane, can't get it to drop off the back iron. A hard contact made. As Yellowstone Christian called for the foul. The foul called on Zahe Ikea. And we got a Judson player down. A hard contact made by Judson. I think I know who the number is. I don't want to give the actual number until I see the player. We are broadcasting from the top. She is still in pain. And one thing about injuries, you want to be accurate on them. You don't want to cause alarm to somebody listening. And I think it is, and indeed it is Emmeline Wright. So Wright getting an applause from the light crowd here at Grace College in Winona Lake, Indiana. And it looks like that Emmeline Wright might have had the wind knocked out of her. Sarah Nelson also out as well with the trainer. And Wright walking without any problem, walking toward the bench, getting applause from everybody, or just about everybody here in this Grace College Gymnasium. A beautiful facility, as mentioned. Stadium seating. It's actually 2 levels. You have courts level, and above you have the athletic offices. Looks really nice, as well as a stage on the left, which reminds you of an elementary middle school gymnasium. Front court right for Judson as they look into a 2-3 zone, going for Pruitt down low. Cash off the glass for Dajae Pruitt. And the lead back up to 4 for Judson at 74-70. Front court left as Strickland drops it down low. Orozco holds it with the right elbow, comes around a screen set up by Hayes. Orozco at the left elbow near side, countering against Mahar. Now pitching it down low for Hayes as we have contact left of the basket. Foul on Judson. And they're going to get Johnson called for the foul. Victoria Johnson, I believe that's her second. Now check that, that's her fourth. Victoria Johnson called for her fourth. Non-shooting foul for Yellowstone Christian. Strickland with the right-handed dribble in between the circles, coming up on 1.5 minutes remaining in this fifth place women's matchup. Orozco turnaround jumper, can't get it to drop, went almost halfway down as Judson clears inside 1.5 minutes. Dead center, Banks works the point, right-handed dribble, comes in the near side on a line pitch for Mahar. Mahar, left-handed dribble, 2-3, Yellowstone Christian zone. Judson looking to take a little bit of time off the shot clock, down to 10. Banks holds her dribble, goes down low as it's stolen away into the 2-3 zone by Evans. And this is a big possession inside the final minute for Yellowstone Christian. Evans, or I should say Orozco, working the point, right-handed dribble, angles to the far sideline right. Here is a top of the key three, triple it up for Evans, and that's a big three right there as it cuts Judson's lead to 1 at 74-73, and a timeout called on the floor. I did not catch who called a timeout. I believe Brandon Rogers saying, is that our timeout? No, they're going to say Judson with the timeout. Who called the timeout? Okay, Judson with the 30-second timeout. 45 seconds remaining. Who wants it more? The fifth place matchup of the NCCAA Women's Basketball Tournament has Judson a 74-73 lead over Yellowstone Christian College on the NCCAA Championship Network. Out of the 30-second timeout called by Judson, they will get the ball inbounds as Mahar brings it in front of her own bench to the far sideline, goes for Pruitt, dumps it off for Banks. To 40 seconds and counting, the shot clock down to 25 for Judson with a 1-point edge. A three-pointer would make it 2 possession, but I don't know if Judson wants to go for that. They probably just want to try to make it one possession in the form of a 3 as Mahar tangled up, gets it out for Banks. Banks goes for the 3 from the left elbow far side, can't get it to drop. And a timeout, or do we have a foul? Looked like Strickland had the rebound from my vantage point. I did not see contact, and I think we do have a timeout. Trying to see who called a timeout here. The officials are pointing toward the bench of Yellowstone Christian. And it is Yellowstone Christian's 30-second timeout. They'll get the ball down by 1, 74-73. Judson with the advantage. 18.8 on the clock in regulation. Fourth quarter on the NCCAA Championship Network. Out of the Yellowstone Christian timeout, they'll have the ball, bringing it inbounds from their bench into their own front court left. Hayes will pull the trigger. It's Hannah Hayes, the 5'10 freshman guard forward. Remember, 7 players dressing for Yellowstone Christian, a very thin roster. Into the hands of Orozco. Orozco at the right elbow, starts to drive baseline from the right. Can't get it to drop as the ball loose into the hands of Judson Pruitt. It looked like Judson called timeout. At least, did Judson call timeout? It looks like Sarah Nelson might have been motioning for a timeout. Each team does have a timeout left. And now the officials figuring all this out. It looked like Sarah Nelson was calling for a full timeout. She's waving her arms straight across as if that's the motion of a full timeout. And now the officials going over to Brandon Rogers. And it looks like they're going to get that timeout. I believe it hasn't been officially indicated, and from the looks of it, it is a full timeout. A full timeout charge to Judson. They lead at 74-73, 10.6 remaining in the fourth quarter in the fifth place matchup. You're listening to the NCCAA Championship Network. Out of the timeout called by Judson University, they have the ball with only 10.6 remaining. Frank Sprinkle in this fifth place matchup, check that, in the fourth quarter between Yellowstone Christian and Judson. A fun day of basketball about ready to come to an end with a thriller. Judson will get the ball. They will work the length of the floor. You know Yellowstone Christian will be following here. Mahar to bring the ball inbounds near corner to the left sideline, near side. As the ball inbounds to Johnson, she draws the foul, draws hard contact from behind. And she gets up, had the wind knocked out of her, it appears. Johnson drawing contact. The foul on Ikea, the 5'5" junior guard, called for the foul. It is a bonus opportunity, so we'll send Judson to the line for a big 1-and-1 as Victoria Johnson took the hard contact on, or the hard contact with the hardwood back up. Johnson eager to shoot, quick dribbles, lets it go off the back iron on the first. So a second one coming for Victoria Johnson, and this to make it a 2-point lead. Johnson, quick dribbles, puts the ball up, lets it go, and denied on the back iron in the second, the ball loose, and picked the Yellowstone Christian with Hayes with the rebound. However, a timeout called by Brandon Rogers. They do have one timeout left. And we're going to do the same. It's a full timeout with 8.6 remaining. Don't go anywhere. Yellowstone Christian with a chance to win the game with 8.6 remaining in the fifth place matchup. Judson holding a 74-73 lead on the NCCAA Championship Network. Out of the full timeout, Yellowstone Christian with the ball. Judson with the lead at 74-73, 8.6 seconds remaining out of Yellowstone Christian's timeout. Judson will send Johnson, Pruitt, Banks, McCauley, and Mahar. Those are their five. The five, as it stands, is so here's the inbounds pass going to Orozco. Orozco losing the handle as it goes out of bounds, so last touch by Judson. Orozco, Evans, Hayes, IKEA, Strickland the 5 for Yellowstone Christian. With 3.3, Ford the win. Evans looking to bring the ball inbounds. Goes for Strickland, has the 3 blocked and stolen away by Judson. As the 3 blocked by Pruitt. Are you gonna say a foul? No, they're not. They're not gonna say a foul. No, I didn't see any contact. There was some pausing here for a moment, think if there was a foul, but a great block at the end, as that will do it, and a thrilling 5th place women's contest that has Judson University, the Lady Eagles of Judson University, picking up the 74-73 win over the Yellowstone Christian College Lady Centurons. Right now, both teams gathering at mid-court for their prayer. A great day and night of basketball coming to an end, and a thriller at that. So both teams right now gathering at midcourt for the prayer. Both Judson University and Yellowstone Christian College alike. As one more day to go of this tournament, the 3rd place and championship for the men's and women's, and it will be all on the air tomorrow on the NCCAA Championship Network. I'm Frank Sprinkle. So happy you could join us tonight as the Judson Lady Eagles prevail here in this game here for 5th place. Also want to thank Andres Palacio for his assistance on the broadcast tonight. Once again, the Judson Lady Eagles prevail 74-73 over Yellowstone Christian College. We will have tomorrow the championship and the 3rd place games respectively of the men's and women's basketball tournament here at Grace College in Winona Lake, Indiana. So happy you could join us tonight. For Andres Palacio, I'm Frank Sprinkle. So happy you could join us. You